Yo, today I'll be talking about the new skill change that happened to the Kinesis class, with a whole new change in how they regenerate PP from now on, and do a little comparison with how PP regeneration was for Kinesis before this new update. The Psychic Drain, which is a second job skill for Kinesis that summons a zone that continuously attacks if a mob is in that zone, and each attack from that zone, Kinesis will generate 1 PP. So previously, Kinesis were very reliant on the skill in order to keep generating as much PP as they can get, while bossing and training. It was especially tedious to use against bosses that are very mobile like Lucid Phase 2 or Seren, since you would have to recast it if the boss were to move out of that zone. This is part of the reason why Kinesis are very good against bosses that are stationary, since Psychic Drain would allow us to keep generating PP at a good rate while dishing out hard-hitting skills. However, with the new skill balance to Kinesis, this whole playstyle has changed. Kinesis player will no longer have to rely on Psychic Drain to generate PP, and now could generate PP by just using their skills normally. Meaning, using some of the ultimate skills could also generate PP at a certain probability, and from my own observation, the regeneration is pretty fast and made the management a lot easier. Especially when bursting, I found myself not having to use Mental Tempest, as I was still regaining fast enough to continue bursting. Before this update, the cost to burst was a lot more and needed to use Mental Tempest if the PP was about to reach 0 in order to continue the burst. So here's a comparison to how bursting was to now. Though, what about off bursting? I do find it slightly worse than what it was before. PP regeneration is random now that there's really no telling how fast it really is during off burst. I have instances where I would get a large amount of PP back from attacking, and some instances where it felt slower because of bad RNG. It would really come down to how fast you're attacking the boss, in hopes to regenerate fast enough to weave in other skills. If I am far away and having only Psychic Drain hitting the boss, I do not regenerate anywhere fast enough to use any hard hitting skills. In previous patch, this wasn't much of a problem, especially for stationary bosses. It was a lot easier to stay far away and still deal a good amount of damage while still regaining enough PP to use. So here's a comparison to how fast off-burst PP regeneration is. So my thoughts about this change for the Kinesis is that I'm very positive and really like this new change. I felt that it especially made the class a lot easier to play, which is the direction Nexon is seemingly going with the past skill balance changes. Bursting feels a lot less restricting too, since it became kind of unnecessary to be at full PP before the start of the burst to deal optimal damage. Also now allowing Mental Tempest, which is the iframe for Kinesis, to be a panic button, as the whole burst could fit throughout the entire duration of Mental Overdrive. I was kind of skeptical about the PP regen being RNG, but now knowing a lot of skills could regen PP, it is clear to me that this is a really good buff to Kinesis class. Training didn't change whatsoever, as it only affects bosses, but if elite mob spawns, then the ability to just leave Psychic Drain on top while you mob the rest goes away, which is kinda unfortunate. All in all, a great change to class and a buff in my opinion. I do hope this kind of gives Kinesis a much more positive look on things. While it may not be a beginner-friendly class, I can say Kinesis gameplay has gotten a lot easier to play than what it was in the past. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.